Tiny Shaddy's all tied down, as tight as I can get her.
I'm officially checked out, which is good because my French flag has just about had its last.
Yes.
See you later.
Yeah, it's someplace. Somewhere over the rainbow. Well, so long, Tahiti. Nana, as they say, goodbye. I would love to have spent more time and explored you, but time is pressing and old Seadog's got to move on. Well, sun's going down. Sun's going down on me. Sun's going down on me, and I got flapping sails in the sunset, and I'm going nowhere. Ooh, and I'm watching out for that big island there. It's got rocks and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, sails are all but useless at the moment. Really, I shouldn't have left, I think. The plan was to leave today, and we just all followed the plan. I'm only a few miles from where I set off in Tahiti, and the sun's going down, it's getting dark. The thing is, the route I need to be on lies directly behind Moorea, that island over there. The wind is coming pretty much straight from it. I'm doing this course, which is going to take me off course to get around the top of the islands and then bear a way down. That's the plan. Hopefully there's more wind on the other side of them. Otherwise, I could go between them and the mainland, which is just off to the left. But then I'm sort of sandwiched between two bits of land during the night for a while. Plus there's no wind down there. What wind there is, however, I'm making use of. I've got all the sails up and I'm doing about 4 knots, but again with the engine. Not ideal. But I really could do with getting past that land and leaving it well behind me before it gets late tonight, so I can sleep easy. I haven't spoken to them, but I think Hdr-as have left. I did see some sails behind me. I haven't heard anything on the radio. But it's funny to think back there, and I always think this when I leave a place, of the friends I've left behind. Somewhere back there, just over in that side of the island, Sugar Shack and Easy, with my friends Matt, Christine and Mike. They'll be sitting down to their first beer about right now. Darn it. And it's sunrise at sea on the second day of our latest voyage here on Shadmeister. Where are we, you might ask? Well, we're actually not very far from where we set off. Tahiti is the island in the background, and Moorea is the one in front of us. We've been coming around that all last night, going real slow because very little wind, and being very careful not to fall asleep and sail into that island over there. Lots of floggingness of the sails this morning, as you can imagine, with very little wind. We're just ghosting forward at a couple of knots. It is incredibly beautiful, as always. I love the mornings before the sun gets hot, but it would be nice if we could actually get a bit further along on our track. You all look glowing eyes there. That's rather cool. Yes, so we're not very far from where we set off, as I said. We'll see what today brings, but there isn't much in the way of wind for the next couple of days. I've just seen a few bubbles go past us, so I know we're making some headway. And actually, I did check yesterday, but there's one fender that seems to have missed my attention. Sorry about that. That's not very professional, is it? Sailing with a fender out. Slipped and cut myself on the knee when I was leaving the marina. It doesn't look much, it's closed up now, but it was a bit deep. So I've got some alcohol, so that'll sort the problem out. Yeah. Unfortunately, here in the tropics, things like sticking plasters like this don't work very well because you're constantly sweating and it won't stay on. So, yeah, proper job.
One way round.
Kind of see by that just how off course we are. I need to pull around and I can't do that with the wind behind us, so I had to pull out. First cup of coffee of the morning, and it is a glorious morning, although a windless morning and a sloppy sea morning, but nevertheless coffee's good. I never do anything in the morning before I've had the first coffee. Now I can come on deck and see what's what. Bright sunshine. Quite a longish swell running this morning, but it's a smooth sea nevertheless. The problem is there's not much wind, and the sail keeps backing with a heck of a thwack. I've taken her in a bit overnight because she was getting a bit violent.
Mainsail keeps backing as well. It's just because the rolling of the boat there, you see the wind gets behind the sail and brings it around the other side, and then as it corrects it makes a crack noise. That now it's not too bad, but the foresail was doing it with quite a bit of vigor last night.
I think that's the island of Raetea over there, just one of the last of the French islands that we're passing. Not stopping there, we don't have the time. As I'm talking, the wind is picking up. I mean, that's spinning, but it's not that much wind. Up ahead looks different. I can actually see some rain coming down off the bottom of those clouds into the sea. We're actually looking for something different in the weather because we're doing about 1.5 knots at the moment. Not good. You can see one of those big swell waves coming in there. There you go. Whoops. Got that on camera. It's harmless, but it's making the boat roll everywhere. Not comfortable. Ooh. Having to hang on while I film this. Yeah, last night spoke to my friends on the boat Hdr-as. They were a good 40 miles from me, using the HF, that's the high frequency long distance radio thingamajigamy. Yeah, it's fascinating to do it. I've seen my dad used to be what they call radio ham. I wasn't on the radio ham frequencies, but nevertheless, same kind of thing. And it was fascinating chatting to the guys, and they were the same as me. They've done a lot better speed. I'm trying to hold this camera because the boat's rolling like it. They've done a lot better speed than I have, but I'm pretty much sitting almost still at the moment in this swell. But I've come on a northern route because I saw that up by these islands there was like a jet stream of air flowing starting today, but I haven't seen that so far. But there is something going on up there, so hopefully the wind is going to pick up. I've got about, it's a 700 or 800 mile trip, this to the first place we're going to go to is a place called Palmerston Reef, if we get there. And it's one of these places that's so small, it's got about 40 people living on it, and I might not even be able to stop there.
Now I'm beginning to wonder about that up in front of me. Theoretically, it should be going away from me as the wind is behind me, but it seems to be getting closer. That looks a bit windy's up there. Arr. See how that's backing. Yeah, the mainsail isn't fully up. I took it down last night, put 2 reefs in it, which is standard practice. I normally do that at night just for safety, in case it comes up. The foresail I can wind in if it blows up. We'll just see. And I can also take it off the pole in a hurry. You can see there are 2 sheets coming off the foresail. One is lazy at the moment, which can take over at any time if I drop this red one out, which is the one that's holding it on the pole. That way, if it gets windy, I can just pull it straight in off the pole without any problems.
Still watching that, I can't work out which direction it's going because the winds over there might not be the same as they are here. Anyway, not to worry, I'm gonna have a second cup of coffee. I think it's a 3 coffee morning this morning. But I'm feeling pretty good, it's all good. I might change in half an hour, you never know. I might be screaming at the camera. That's the way it works.
Bit of sliminess. It turns out it's diesel on the deck. This diesel can was tied up differently, and it was just on this wire here, and you can see there's a crack there, and every time the boat rolled, tiny little bit of diesel. But over the last 3 days it was enough just to make some marks on the deck, and I'm like, what's going on here? Got some of this adhesive stuff, you know, the kind of stuff you use it and you use it once and then it all dries up in the tube. What you have to do is stab the tube and make a hole and get some from somewhere else. Yeah, all these are hellish expenses, so you don't want to waste it if you can. I'll see if I can get a bit out of there. No. Oh yeah. No. You keep stabbing them until you find a bit where there's a bit still soft. Yep, that's got it. That'll do. I don't want to spill any more diesel, but also I don't want any water in there to contaminate the diesel that's in there. That way I can use it. It'll be fine now, but if we get into rough weather or it rains, I want that diesel to stay diesely and not water diesely. I think that's probably going to do it. There you go, kids.
Just coming up on deck on what I think is about the 4th day. Lost track really, because every day same-o, same-o. Again, no wind. Last night I had all the sail down except for a little bit on the front, and we just bobbed around and didn't go anywhere. I managed to contact the other guys on the radio. I think they were about 60 miles from me now, and they're further south, and they managed to do 2 knots for most of yesterday. But they've got access to internet, and they told me that the weather should improve tomorrow. Not much wind, but better than what we've got now, which is virtually nothing. No wind means no electricity. Got lots of sun, but it's not quite enough. Had to move the side solar panel to the back of the boat to catch some rays. Mainsail's down. It was just flogging too much and doing no work at all. I found I got a bit more energy by just having a small foresail up. It's kind of flogging, but it is pulling us along at about a knot at the moment. But that's all we're going to get. In the 1520s, explorer Ferdinand Magellan came this way. When he came round the bottom of South America through what are now the Straits of Magellan, and he saw the sea there, he named it the Pacific, as in peaceful. And it hasn't been very peaceful for me for most of my trip, but now it's been overly peaceful. Too damn peaceful. As you can see, we're barely moving. It's conundrum time here on Shadow. What are we gonna do next? I don't know. Still becalmed at sea with no wind. What's going on? It's bad. No, it's not bad. It's just annoying. Anyway, I've just put the main up, and the wind stopped, and it started flogging, and now the wind's come back again. And the conundrum is, do I take it down or do I not? Or shall I put the front one up and take that down and the back one up and blah, 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 blah. That's the conundrum. Is that a conundrum? As I'm messing with the sails, the boat generally goes off course, and I think, oh, that's good, it's sailing. And then I come back here and find we're actually off course. So when we turn back, of course, yeah, the sailing is not as good. There we go. The floggations are back again. Flogging sails. Just not enough wind. On a westerly course, that's where we want to be, or just south of that. Anywhere is good if we can get some wind, but westerly is where we want to be. Do I take that big fellow down? I've just spent 20 minutes getting it up. Put a bigger foresail up, because the wind is coming from the back of the boat, and this big fellow here is shielding the wind from the foresail, and there's not enough wind to keep it inflated. Conundrum time! What do I do? What do we do? Oh yes, it's a case of lone sailor goes insane while sailing across the Pacific, or trying to in windless conditions. So the thing about a sailing boat, I don't know if you know this, but it does need wind to work. And we don't have any wind, and we haven't had any wind, I think 4 days now? It's due tomorrow and it better turn up. Spoke to my friends over the radio last night, and they've got weather forecasts, and they're saying tomorrow hopefully the wind will come. I hope so, because I'm still next to an island called Raiatea, which has been just over there for 3 days now. We basically haven't moved. I've just put the mainsail up, and it's flogging, and there was breeze last night a little bit, and this morning, but as soon as I put the mainsail up, of course it's gone. So conundrum is, do I take it back down again? Do I try something different, or is this it? But the good thing is, I'm on course and there's a tiny bit of wind just come up. So there again, you see, it's false hopes. It gives you false hopes. You think, oh, I'll leave the sail up. And then there's actually no wind, and you're better off taking it down, because I'm actually going slower with that up than I did before, because it's interfering with the forward sail, the foresail, which was actually pulling us along at 1.5 knots. Now we're doing 1 knot. A thought occurred to me yesterday when the flogging had stopped on the sails and it was just complete calm and quiet out here. Just how big the Pacific Ocean is. It's 64 million square miles of water. And without the boat being here, the conditions now, there would have been absolutely no sound. There's no wind, there's no noise from the water. How can something that's 64 million square miles big be so silent? That is truly an amazing thought. Oh, yes, 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 yes. At last, wind. There are big white clouds in the sky, and all is well with the world. There's clouds in the sky, that means the weather's changed. The sea is looking more like the sea should do. And the boat's sailing, yahoo! Loving it. Wind changed last night. I had to take the foresail off the spinnaker pole there and fly a free at a different angle because the wind changed direction. Got the mainsail fully up. How many times have I done that on this boat? Not many. It's usually blowing too hard or not at all. Anyway, there you go. It's looking good. Oh, what a brave sight that is. I've been waiting for that. How long was I? 5 days, I think, becalmed. And it was hot. Now it's cooled down, the wind is blowing, and it's just magnificent. And the last of the French Polynesian islands have gone behind us. They're out of sight now. Well, not much left of that. You can tell it's time to leave a country when your courtesy flag falls to bits. Yeah, it's usually a good sign to tell you you've been there too long. I think to hang on while I film this. Bollocks. I could put a voiceover over that, can't I? Yeah, we'll just. So that last bit, we'll use that, but I'll put some of these other bits on.